Your brain was never designed to build wealth. It was designed to survive the savannah, to fear the rustle in the grass, to hoard when food was scarce, to remember every loss with searing clarity. And those ancient circuits are still running your financial life today. Every time you check your bank account and feel that knot in your stomach. Every time you see an opportunity but hear a voice whisper, "It's too risky." Every time you earn more money but somehow end up with less. You're watching evolution clash with economics. And the collision is costing you everything. This is the story of how your mind became your greatest financial obstacle. And how understanding that changes everything. Meet Sarah, a successful marketing director earning 6 figures. Her colleagues would call her brilliant, driven, unstoppable. But every month, despite her income, she lived paycheck to paycheck. The money came in like a river and vanished like morning mist. She told herself she just needed to make more. That the next promotion would finally be enough. But neuroscientists would recognize something else entirely in her pattern. Her brain had learned a script about money decades before her first paycheck. In a childhood home where wealth meant danger, where success meant abandonment, where her father left the year his business finally succeeded. And now, without her conscious awareness, her mind was keeping her safe. Safe meant struggling. Safe meant familiar. Safe meant staying small. This is what psychologists call a limiting belief, but that term is far too gentle. These beliefs are invisible blueprints that architect your entire financial reality. They operate in the shadows, pulling strings you cannot see. Research from behavioral economics reveals something startling about our brains and money. We feel the pain of losing $100 twice as intensely as the joy of gaining it. This asymmetry, this cognitive bias called loss aversion, silently sabotages every financial decision. It makes you cling to failing investments, hoping they'll recover. It keeps you in savings accounts earning nothing, terrified of market volatility. It transforms your portfolio into a museum of past fears rather than future possibilities. Your brain treats potential loss like a physical threat to your survival. And in doing so, it guarantees the very scarcity it fears. But here's what changes everything about this story. These patterns, these deep grooves carved by evolution and experience, are not permanent. Your brain possesses something remarkable called neuroplasticity. The ability to rewire, to reshape, to write new financial scripts. The question is not whether you can change your relationship with money. The question is whether you're willing to see the invisible forces that have been writing it. Consider the scarcity mindset, that pervasive belief that there will never be enough. It spreads through your decisions like a virus through code. When you operate from scarcity, you see every opportunity as a threat. Every investment as money that could be lost. Every business venture as a gamble with your security. The lens of lack colors every financial choice in shades of fear. But abundance mindset is not about positive thinking or magical manifestation. It's about recognizing a fundamental truth that scarcity thinking obscures. In a growing economy, wealth is not a finite pie where your slice diminishes mine. It's a garden where planting seeds creates more abundance for everyone. The wealthiest people in history understood this at a cellular level. They saw opportunities where others saw obstacles, growth where others saw risk. Not because they were fearless, but because they had rewired their relationship with uncertainty. This rewiring begins with a single uncomfortable step. You must excavate the money stories buried in your subconscious mind. The beliefs you inherited from parents who lived through depression or divorce. The scripts that whisper rich people are greedy, or money is the root of evil. The childhood vow you made that you would never struggle like your family did. These stories are not just memories. They are active programs running your financial operating system. And until you bring them into the light, they will continue to run in the dark. Sarah's breakthrough came on an ordinary Tuesday in her therapist's office. When she finally connected her self-sabotage to that childhood abandonment. When she realized that staying broke was her way of keeping her father close. The tears that came were not just grief, they were liberation. Because awareness is the first crack in the prison of unconscious patterns. From that crack, everything begins to shift. The next step is what neuroscientists call reconsolidation, the rewriting of memory and meaning. You cannot erase your money stories, but you can change their power over you. You do this through deliberate practice, through new experiences that contradict old beliefs, through investing small amounts and watching them grow, proving to your nervous system that risk can yield reward, through budgeting not as deprivation, but as a blueprint for the life you truly want to build, through celebrating financial wins instead of dismissing them as luck or accident. Each new experience is a vote for a different identity. Each conscious choice is a thread in a new financial tapestry. And over time, the accumulation of these moments creates something neuroscience calls a phase shift. The point where your brain's default setting changes from scarcity to possibility. Where seeing an opportunity no longer triggers panic but curiosity. Where money becomes a tool for building rather than a source of shame. The science of compounding reveals why this internal work matters so profoundly. A single dollar invested at age 25 becomes $16 by retirement. But that same dollar invested at age 35 becomes only $8. Time is the secret ingredient that transforms modest savings into lasting wealth. But you cannot harness time's power if your psychology keeps you frozen in fear. If limiting beliefs prevent you from taking that first uncomfortable step. This is why mindset is not separate from strategy. It is the foundation beneath it. The most sophisticated investment plan means nothing if your subconscious is programmed for scarcity. Sarah's story did not end with awareness. It began there. She started small, automating 10% of her income into investments before she could overthink it. She worked with a financial therapist to untangle money from her father's memory. She practiced sitting with the discomfort of watching her portfolio fluctuate without panicking. And slowly, month by month, her bank account began to reflect her income for the first time. Not because she earned more, but because she stopped unconsciously pushing wealth away. Your financial future is not written in the stars or determined by your starting point. It is shaped by the invisible beliefs running beneath your conscious awareness. And the most powerful thing you can do is bring those beliefs into the light. Question them, challenge them, rewrite them with intention and evidence. Because prosperity is not just about money, it is about freedom. And freedom begins the moment you realize your mind has been the cage all along.